April here, and we're gonna do some winter maintenance on our craft. And first up in my very, very old AUKai is going to be restringing the potentially dilapidated rudder cables. Boat is almost 10 years old. It's never been restrung, so I feel like now is the time before they snap, because if the cables snap inside, it is a much more difficult process, so better to stay ahead of it. The tools I'm going to use today are scissors, needle nose pliers, a lighter, a pick to help me undo old knots, and a Phillips head screwdriver. So to access the cables, the first thing I am going to do is remove the footwell. Ta-da! Oh man, she's gonna get a bath too. Dirty girl. So, first thing, I'm gonna pull back on the foot pedals. I could have detached these from the bungee. The bungee's completely spent. Actually, yeah, that used to be bungee. It is no longer. I could replace that while I'm in here, but right now all I'm gonna do is press back on the pedals so that I've got a lot of slack in the cables. Now we're gonna go back to the back of the boat and investigate the situation. It'd be easier if I had like a little pokey, like a tiny screwdriver or something, which I do have. I could take the time to go get it. 5 hours later. Okay, we have all the slack. I'm taking out my rudder. I do not have springs on this canoe. If you did have the springs for a self-centering rudder, you would want to be very careful at this step. All right, I'm taking out my tiller. I'm gonna set the, just gonna put the post screw for the rudder into the rudder for safekeeping. And I'm gonna pull gently. It's still tied on the other end, so I'm okay. I'm gonna pull this back and flip her over. Oh, little spider nest. And there's the assembly. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the knot for the old cables, because as long as we are, starting a new set, we haven't lost anything. We do want to start from the back of the boat because I got to get the knot through here first. So, it breaks my heart to cut my old cables. It's kind of, all right, but there they go. Goodbye, old cables. And now, I'm gonna grab the knot on the new set of cables. Probably unnecessary, but something I like to do. I wanna, if it's got any twists or kinks in it, I'm gonna just take my fingernails and run through it and just kind of massage it down, if you will. So get those nice and untwisty. And with that, get my needle side, stick my needles through. I'm gonna have to possibly do this section one at a time. All right, and they're in. Boom, there it is. So those are in the tiller. When we're done, they'll go like that, but not yet. Keep our left and our right organized. And I'm gonna leave the right over here. Now comes the part where we're gonna pull it through the boat. So we're gonna tie some knots and do some cool things. Let me consult the internet for what knot to use.
One internet search later.
All right, it's my monster knot for the right side. I just shoved the needle through the plastic actually and came back, looped it around itself, and then actually went back through the plastic sheathing again, cut the needle, tied a square knot on the end there, and now I've got a very, very stable string to pull this string through. So let's give her a pull. So I've employed husband. not just to film. So he is going to pull on this side gently. I'm going to keep tension on the other side. If you don't have a friend to do this with, good luck. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Go slow. Whenever you're ready.
Pull slowly, husband.
All right, we're gonna pull slowly. April's gonna tell us when we're at the interface. So she's just keeping it taut so it feeds in cleanly.
Even though you're pulling on that side, so that would keep it taut. But you could just have like maybe a brick sitting on this end.
All right, there's the sheathing for the other half, and there we go.
I'm actually not gonna do anything with this yet. I'm gonna go pull the second cable through, and I'm gonna set the tiller in and then pull them both, and then I'm gonna cut these ends simultaneously and then rig this side simultaneously is my current plan. Because I wanna pull full slack through and have that side assembled, and then I'm gonna work only on this side. So let's go get that second side pulled through. So the cable kit comes with a needle attached to a white leader string, as well as some plastic sheathing to help keep it all together. That ensures that the white leader string that's attached to the black rudder cable is not going to come detached. I don't think it was going to come detached anyway, but
it might be part of the core of the string, I don't know.
Yeah, just in case. It's very nice. You can do your own knots. You can choose your own way to make a monster knot. What I wanted to do, I wanted this leader string to pull it pretty much straight to this old cable to keep it centered. So I shoved the needle up and then through. Technically need a thimble, but I'm just going to use my scissors to push this guy through. There it goes. See it? It's coming through. Get my needle and those pliers. And then I pull that string. See, now it's coming through. And I'm gonna get this new plastic sheathing up on the old cable. And the old plastic sheathing, it's going this way, so that's not a problem. See, so the old sheathing is slightly larger diameter than the new sheathing, so you can pull it right up against there and not have any issues. To keep this, I'm gonna open up this, because this is a loop, and I'm gonna bring it around the back side and up through. So that helps keep the white string. Keep pulling it tight. I'm gonna come around the back, pull it through. I'm gonna do that maybe 2 more times. I'm gonna come back 1 more time. I'm gonna go through the sheathing, pull that tight. I'm through. I did something wrong this time, but it's okay. I'm gonna come back up this way. I didn't get one of my little holder knots on the opposite side over here. If I give it a really good tug, it's not gonna come loose, right? So that's all we're really looking for. Cut the needle out about halfway through, and then I'm gonna do a square knot. All right. Yeah, that I can pull on that really hard, and I have no intentions on pulling harder than that to get the cable through. Like I said, there are no obstructions going through the hole, so it's not like it's gonna get caught on something and I need to give it like a really hard yank. So I'm gonna send husband to the other side of the boat. Go, husband.
I think we're good on this end.
The sides, I'm gonna make sure they're in the grooves. So, as I said, so he's up the front, and so I've got this through the hole. I'm setting the cables into the grooves, and as he pulls it and keeps it tight, I'm gonna set it straight down, and I'm not even gonna disturb these baby spiders.
This doesn't have a spring in it because it's an older Ayokai.
Oh, so another video for another day. You're really close.
It's a GoPro, you'll be fine.
I take the springs out of all my tillers because I do not want a self-centering rudder. There are benefits to that for safety if your rudder cables were to break, but I do keep an eye and restring my rudder cables. It could still happen, but I prefer to let Mother Nature help a little bit and guide my way. But again, that's a video and a topic for another day.
Okay. In. You've got a post.
All right, I am ready for you to pull the other side.
So we'll pick up tension on this side. 1, 2. All right, so go ahead and grab that screw. I'm gonna hold tension on this side.
So right now, we're just gonna tape it in a position where it's centered. Don't cut my beloved ancient boat. It might not make a difference, but I just wanted to hold it in its neutral centered position because I don't have the springy thingies. So we're back up here. All right, my dirty boat. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the old cables out. So I'm gonna cut all of the white cord that I used to pull through. Cut, cut, cut. I'm gonna leave that little bit of plastic sheathing on there for right now because I just want it to make my life easier right here when I put it through this spot. I thought it was gonna make my life easier. Lies. There we go. Yeah, the plastic sheathing on this end is a little on the thick side. Lesson learned. We're gonna cut this off at a 90-degree angle and hope for the best now. So I cut this at an angle, and it's obviously going to fray, and I don't want it to fray anyway, so I am going to use a lighter, kind of melt the end, and as it cools, I'm gonna try to shape it into a pointy tip. So you don't want to touch it when it's hot, and I don't think you want to breathe it in. There's a lot of things you don't want to do there. All that untwisting I did. All right. So that's... So this is personal preference once you get to here, is how much of an angle you're going to want in your foot pedals. I like probably right about there. If I don't like it, I know that I can change it. I'm doing a square knot like that. So I made a little square knot. I'm gonna leave this tail here, obviously, until we're done, and I'm sure that I like the way things are going. Hold that there for right now. All right, over the other side. If it makes you feel any better, you can't just leave it attached and pull it through. The old sheathing is not gonna allow me to do that, so I do have to cut it. So I've got like a bunch of little white strings now. This old guy cut off of here. That plastic sheathing right there is just a larger diameter than this hole, so you're not gonna be able...
You can cut the sheathing out without burning the white
string. So that is what I'm going to attempt to do this time. In theory, I could just bore out this hole so it's not a pain in the butt next time I do this, but now the string is toast. Okay.
One pain in the butt later.
Alright. Easiest way to do it after all the struggles. This is still hard from the factory, super glue or whatever they used, and I cut that at an angle. And that was the easiest thing to push through. All right, we make all the mistakes so you don't have to. All right, looks pretty good, guys. There's a lot of slack in those right now. These new cables are so like pliable and nice and supple. They'll probably stretch out. So there's probably gonna be me changing things under. So I'm just doing a simple square knot, pretty easy to remove later. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I am gonna retie these connectors right here on the back. I'd cut these out of my Kintari, my new Kintari. There we go. There's the one that just keeps it from flopping back on you. Let's take the tape off and just make sure. You know, it wasn't so bad. You can do this too at home. Just you and some sharp scissors. If you take care of your boat, it'll take care of you. Boo. That's all, folks. Have a good one.